Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure y'all hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking, all right? So shout out to everybody who's in the room. It's good to see each and every one of you all. If you guys can hear me okay, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, give me a thumbs down or an angry face. And we're going to shout out everybody who is in the building early. All right. We got Brooklyn Queen in the house. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show her some love for being a like enforcer. I appreciate that. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. We got Black Free Thinker. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to DeAndre. And shout out to Jerry Bedford. What is good with y'all? All right. Shout out to my man AJ. If AJ is in the building, make sure that y'all show him some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat and some flames for him for showing your boy love on Cash App. Definitely appreciate it. And also make sure y'all show love to my man DeAndre, enforcing the likes. All right. Enforce the likes. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the oblivion that Nikki Haley's campaign is heading towards, because it's not heading anywhere else other than that. I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's been a report going around that she had a sweep of a particular district in New Hampshire, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to go into that. We're going to take a look at that. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I think I got yeah, okay. So Nikki Haley sweeps Dixville. Imagine that, right? Anybody surprised that she swept a place called Dixville Notch primary in New Hampshire? Okay. After what we talked about yesterday, nobody should be surprised that her one and only win probably will be in a place called Dixville. Okay. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna listen to her Republican counterparts trash her. Okay. And then we're going to get into some other things. Real quick, shout out to everybody that's in the building. Y'all know what we trying to do. We're trying to get this channel to 500 subs. We're trying to get people to go and check out the Twitter. Make sure you guys do both. If you're not subscribed to the Twitter, take a moment, subscribe to the Twitter. The bots will put the link in the chat. If you enjoy the content, make sure that you subscribe, hit that bell icon twice, and let's get it.
I'm a little taller than Carrie. New Hampshire, how you doing? So, you know, you guys are doing the first in the nation primary election tomorrow. And I know something's going to happen really, really big in the state of New Hampshire. You're going to tell everybody in the country that the Republican primary process is over and that Donald Trump is going to be the nominee of the Republican Party.
Now, check this out. It don't you guys find it fascinating? It's amazing how Trump has not really had to put forth much effort into this, and he's already dominating it. It's fascinating. What do you guys think about that?
You know, I respect everybody that's run. Running for office is a hard thing. You know, a lot's changed since a day before Iowa. And I was in Iowa. It was cold. Like, this is balmy. I'm Mike in balmy New Hampshire. This is great. It is, man. I'm telling you. No overcoat. It was great. But a week ago, a little more than a week ago, you had 4 candidates in, 5 if you count Asa Hutchinson. Asa was running. You got to count. And then Vivek Ramaswamy, he left the campaign. He said, you know what? There's only one America First candidate in the field, and that's Donald Trump. And then, and look, I'm from Florida. He's my governor. He's done a great job. But now he's ended his campaign, and now he is standing with Donald Trump, like all of you throughout this country. So
now, let me ask you guys this question about Byron Donalds. How can you, Byron Donalds, just sit there and just act like you're on a team with Ron DeSantis? How can you respect yourself? The governor that you call your governor is a governor that's responsible for an execution of innocent black people in Florida. You even allegedly took issue with the things that he said about slavery being vocational school for black people. And you act like you and this dude are brothers. Shout out to Black Women Stand Up. What's good with it? It is amazing to me how somebody can do that and then turn around and call themselves or try to convince other people that they're human. We're just going to act like nothing happened. We're just going to act like it didn't happen. Couldn't be me, man. It couldn't be me. What do you guys think? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 12 people watching and we got 17 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 20, that would be great.
You're going to help us because we have one little piece of business left to do. Just one. It's a candidate. Her name's Nikki Haley. And something tells me, well, don't be too upset because something tells me, New Hampshire, she ain't going to be around for much longer. Because we are going to go to the polls tomorrow in New Hampshire, and we are going to give a decisive blow, not just for the Republican Party, but for the United States of America.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. When it comes to Byron Scott, yeah, that's as loud as I can get it, bro. This is from like some type of campaign rally. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, so that's as loud as I can get it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can. Yeah, they only got 480p streaming as far as the camera graphic quality goes. You know what I'm saying? Are you guys able to hear this okay? If you guys can hear this okay, give me a thumbs up. If you guys can't, give me a thumbs down.
In Washington, where I spend a lot of time now working on behalf of the American people. In Washington, they believe they can go back to the old strategies and the old game plan that leaves you out, that steps on your freedoms, that spies on you and your social media, that wanted to look into your bank account.
Now, here goes my question. How much money is he getting paid by Trump to give him all of this advertisement? Is he getting paid anything? Here goes my question. If you jump out the window for somebody like this, like how this guy is jumping out the window for Trump, my question for you guys is, what's the benefit from it? What's the reward? Oh, the video volume is low. Yeah, it's the video quality. It's the video quality. That's all good. I think this dude is said enough anyway. Let's see if Carrie Lake is louder. All right. It might be the quality of the audio equipment that they had at this rally. So let me know if you guys are able to hear this one or not. And if you guys aren't able to hear this one, then we'll just do a little bit of it and then we'll go right on to the next one. All right.
Welcome. Hello. Whoa, look at this crowd. I cannot believe it. Guys, is this your social life now? Well, then we have the same social life. And guess what? We're trying to save our country, and that's a pretty good social life to have. Thank you so much. Are you ready to go out tomorrow and prove to the world that New Hampshire wants to save America? Who's ready to get up extra early and go out and vote tomorrow for President?
Is it still real low? Are you guys still able to hear it? If you guys can hear it, give me a thumbs up. If you guys can't, give me a thumbs down. Ms. Nisi says that is difficult to hear. What are you guys able to hear this one better than the last one? It's low, but you can hear it. Let's go to the next one. It's not worth sacrificing the quality for. So according to Matt Getz, I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at something that I saw. According to Matt Getz, Nikki Haley was wasting her time. So we're gonna listen to what he had to say. Oh man, they got some really good. Visual quality on this one. Let me see. All right, here we go. Let's check this out real quick.
Well, I think there are probably some anti-war pacifists who would love to prosecute Barack Obama or George W. Bush for military airstrikes or drone strikes. So there's presidential immunity that exists. The reasonable debate that's going on is the extent of that immunity. Bloomberg Law just published a piece from some Emory Law School professors where they debated whether or not Trump's point was legitimate, and it really is an unresolved question. I don't have the answer. The Supreme Court will figure it out. In the meantime, what are we doing here, Abby? This primary contest concluded in Iowa, where Donald Trump had an overwhelming victory. Like, Nikki Haley is competing in New Hampshire, where she's 8 points behind. It's her best state. And our firewall, the Trump firewall, is South Carolina, undeniably Trump country. So while Joe Biden is out campaigning and advertising in swing states, this seems to be an incredible waste of time.
What do you guys think? You guys agree with him? If you guys agree with him, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Let me know what you guys think. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it back. We're going to do some background information on Nikki Haley, all right, and see how consistent she is current day with things that she says in the past, all right? This right here is a video from a month ago, and it's from ABC, and it's called "Who is Nikki Haley?" Now, this is interesting, right? My question for you guys is, in this video where they ask the question of who is Nikki Haley, do you all think that they will mention her real name? If you guys think that they'll mention her real name, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me the thumbs down. All right, let's get it.
Nikki Haley has been at the center of many attacks the last several times Republicans debated this primary season, and she's fended off many of those criticisms, both personally and politically, while climbing steadily in the polls.
Why do they always get the best pictures of her? Why do they all? Man, they always get the cover girl shot, don't they? Why do they always get the best picture of her? I bet y'all had no idea that she was this photogenic, did you? No, if you didn't know, now you know.
Donald Trump still remains far and away the frontrunner for the Republican nomination. Haley is quickly becoming the candidate of choice for anti-Trump Republicans. But who is Nikki Haley, the person? I got a chance to sit down with the former South Carolina governor and UN ambassador to learn just that for our series, Who Is?
Now, here goes the question, right? Look at ABC. Why is ABC so interested in Nikki Haley and Nikki Haley as a conservative? Both wings of the media love Nikki Haley, man. She has it so easy. Both of the wings of the media treat Nikki Haley so good. My question for you guys is, why do you guys think that is? Why do you think that both wings of the media treat Nikki Haley so good? Let me know what you guys think.
Were you conscious as a child and as a young man that you came from a life of privilege?
So did you think to yourself, Barack, what kind of hubris is this? Being president. They said be a man.
Yeah, they said be a man. They said we're not accepting girls.
You're a Mormon kid. No drinking, no smoking.
Growing up as a child, what did you think you wanted to be? In a few words, who is Nikki Haley?
You know, I'm a mom, I'm a military spouse, I'm the daughter of legal immigrants, I'm an accountant, I'm a friend, I'm a sister. I happen to be a 2-term governor, and I happen to be a UN ambassador, and I happen to be running for president. I promise you, our best days are yet to come. Thank you very much. God bless you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you guys think that she has any more days left in her campaign? I promise her, I think that her last day of her campaign is yet to come. You know what I'm saying? And it'll probably be today. That's that's what I think.
I'm someone who loves our country, and I don't want my kids to grow up like this. I know our country can do better, and that's why I'm moving forward and trying to right this ship.
So growing up in Bamberg, South Carolina, only 2 stoplights in the whole
stoplights, 2,500 people. You couldn't think about
Facts.
doing something wrong without something.
Facts. Big facts. Shout out to my man, Black Free Thinker, and a part-time side piece. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Full-time career woman, part-time bust down. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, John Guillory. What's good with it?
Somebody already telling your mom.
The only Indian American family there. What was that childhood like?
It was tough. It was tough. They didn't know who we were, what we were, or why we were there. And I remember when I would get teased on the playground and I would come home, my mom would always say, your job is not to show them how you're different. Your job is to show them how you're similar.
Your job. Now, this is what I pay very close attention. The immigrants. Your job is not to show them, talking about the white people, how you're different. Your job is to show them how you're similar. Now, that should tell you a lot. That explains a lot of the psychological issues that these people have, a lot of the psychological behavior patterns, a lot of their adoption of anti-Black racism. Show that you're similar to the people who initiated Jim Crow. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9.
Stoplights in the
Two
whole
stoplights,
town.
2,500 people. You couldn't think about doing something wrong without somebody already telling your mom.
The only Indian American family there. What was that childhood like?
It was tough. It was tough. They didn't know who we were, what we were, or why we were there. And I remember when I would get teased on the playground and I would come home, my mom would always say, your job is not to show them how you're different. Your job is to show them how you're similar.
How many of you guys as parents ever told you anything crazy like that? This is what I'm saying. These people come here and they have a completely different mind state. So now my question for you guys that I need you guys to answer for me in the comment section is, when her parents are telling her, don't show them how you're different, show them how you're the same, explain to me what they mean by that.
They didn't know who we were, what we were, or why we were there. And I remember when I would get teased on the playground and I would come home, my mom would always say, your job is not to show them how you're different. Your job is to show them how you're similar. And it's amazing how that lesson on the playground has played out throughout my life. If you first talk about the—
Yeah, it's amazing how it's played out throughout her life. That made you the woman that you are today. And I don't know, you know, that's up to interpretation how people take that. Would you guys agree that the values that her parents taught her, which are to not show them how you're different, show them how the same, that's what made her into the woman that she is today? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
things you have in common, people let their guard down, and that's how you can get towards a solution.
You've talked about being in the third grade and the teams being lined up by Black kids on this side, white kids on this side, how for your parents to even rent their home, they had to promise they weren't going to entertain Black people. There was a—
What's that? Bet you guys didn't know this about Nikki Haley, did you? She kept that one. She kept that lesson that her parents taught her. This woman is a governor, and she's running to be the president. And look at what she grew up with. And nobody sees, nobody sees, non-Black people don't see an issue with this.
You have in common. People let their guard down, and that's how you can get towards a solution.
You've talked about being in the third grade and the teams being lined up by Black kids on this side, white kids on this side, how for your parents to even rent their home, they had to promise they weren't going to entertain Black people. There was a roadside fruit vendor where you said that your dad experienced some racism. How did that discrimination ultimately shape who you are today?
It made me really understand people's pain. I've always believed you have to understand what someone else is going through to be able to get to the place that you want to go. We had that terrible tragedy at Mother Emanuel Church. Confederate flag, very personal issue for the people.
What do you guys think about this lady, man? Nikki Haley's a clown. You guys see why I roasted her like I did yesterday? Yeah, her dad taught it at HBCU. Now, it was okay for him to stay around Black people when he was getting money, which is one of the reasons why they throw them stores and all that nonsense in the hood and treat people like crap. That was okay. But now don't go around the Black people, right? Which is interesting, right? Because that falls in line with show them how you're the same. Show them how you're the same as us. What is the one way that you can show somebody that you're the same as them? And she's still doing it to this day, but she'll deny it. But she sure as hell let it go in this interview, didn't she? This lady is a fraud. She's a flake. She's a clown. That's why she got all that makeup painted on her face. All she needs is a red nose. And I would say some clown shoes, but if her feet are anything like her hands, then they probably fit.
The only Indian American family there. What was that childhood like?
It was tough. It was tough. They didn't know who we were, what we were, or why we were there. And I remember when I would get teased on the playground and I would come home, my mom would always say, your job is not to show them how you're different. Your job is to show them how you're similar. And it's amazing how that lesson on the playground has played out throughout my life. If you first talk about the things you have in common, people let their guard down. And that's how you can get towards a solution.
You've talked about being in the 3rd grade and the teams being lined up by black kids on this side, white kids on this side, how for your parents to even rent their home, they had to promise they weren't going to entertain black people. There was a roadside fruit vendor where you said that your dad...
Now, who made her parents entertain that they wouldn't entertain black people? Why if your parents were so good, why would they buy into that? They didn't have to follow the crowd. They're not trendsetters. They don't have a backbone. They didn't stand up to the people that they were around. They're cowards. Yeah. In the backseat of a Cadillac. Facts. Do you want to ride in the backseat of the caddy? Oh, man. Bust it down with Nikki Haley. Do you want to ride? N-I-K-K-I. That's H-E-L-E-Y. Just get them votes, ho. Just get them votes, ho. Look at how that tax go. Oh, man. Do you want to ride in the backseat of a caddy? Whoa! Do you want to ride with me?
That experience and racism. How did that discrimination ultimately shape who you are today?
It made me really understand people's pain. You know,
how do you understand a black person's pain growing up? Now, you say that those white people treated you so bad, but why was there a conditional deal with your parents and the white people on how to treat black people? Liar. Then white people wouldn't have made a deal with your parents if they weren't treating you a certain kind of way. Yeah, we'll treat you normal if you treat these black people like crap. Stop lying. Stop lying, you bust down. God.
It made me really understand people's pain. You know, I've always believed you have to understand what someone else is going through to be able to get to the place that you want to go.
Now, how do you understand what anybody else, how do you understand what any of us is going through? When none of us grew up in a household where our parents told us not to deal with black people. Let me ask you guys this. We got 20 people watching. Shout out to all 20 of you guys. How many of you all in your household heard somebody in your household say, don't entertain black people? If you guys heard that, give me a thumbs up. If you did not, give me a thumbs down. I'm going to tell you flat out, point blank, didn't nobody in my house say that. Oh, I know she's talking about whites. Exactly. But here's the thing, though. It don't matter who she's talking about because she said that she can relate, right? What I'm doing is I'm pointing out a way that she can't relate. We can't relate to this because nobody in our house told us that. Matter of fact, how many people lived in a white neighborhood and made deals with white people that you won't entertain black people? So that's something else that we can't relate to. How many of us are from India? Something else we can't relate to. How many of us changed our name? We had our names changed for us. Something else we can't relate to. How does she know? You don't know anything. The only thing that she knows how to do is sleep around and vote yes for war while she's working in the UN wearing knee-high leather boots. That's it. That's what she knows how to do.
terrible tragedy at Mother Emanuel Church. Confederate flag, very personal issue for the people of South Carolina. You had half the people of South Carolina see it as heritage and tradition. You had the other half see the Confederate flag as slavery and hate. My job wasn't to judge either side. My job was to get them to see the best of themselves and a way forward. We were able to bring that.
Shout out to DeAndre, right? Shout out to DeAndre. DeAndre says, makes you wonder what Kamala mama was telling her. Kamala's mom was telling her the exact same thing. And as a matter of fact, Kamala's mama stopped dealing with her black dad. And then Kamala's mom, according to the birth certificate that Judge Joe Brown provided, checked off that she was a white woman on her birth certificate. So Kamala's mom is exactly like Nikki Haley's family. They're exactly like Nikki Haley's family. Nikki Haley's father worked at a historically black college. That historically black college hired a racist immigrant who was told to not entertain black people. And they still gave him a job. Let that marinate.
Confederate flag down, but we didn't have riots. We had vigils. We didn't have protests. We had hugs. And while the rest of the country was on fire, we showed the world what strength and grace look like. That's what we have to bring back to America.
Strength and grace would have been if the country was regulated so well and people were educated so well that racist attacks wouldn't occur, because the United States not only atoned and acknowledged its wrongdoing and its contribution to global anti-black racism, but if it enforced laws that deterred people from committing racist acts instead of making laws and propaganda to encourage them. So I can't agree with this. Yeah, I gotta agree. Shout out to Ty Valentine. Ty Valentine says she has first generation written all over her. It's pathetic. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But this is what people should know about Nikki Haley. This probably doesn't mean much to non-black people. I got to agree with Patrick. The U.S. was and is the king of pushing anti-black racism. Look what it encouraged its immigrants to do. How many more immigrants do you think their parents talked like Nikki Haley's parents? I bet you her father acted like he was like just this down liberal immigrant and like he was cool with the black people. You know what I'm saying? He was dapping it up and giving fives to all of the people that worked at the school. You know what I'm saying? Acting like he was so cool and cared. And then he went back to his little Brady Bunch picket fence neighborhood and was acting like, oh, get back in the house. Don't talk to me. It wasn't as hard as it could have been, because clearly those white people gave Nikki Haley and her family a pass as long as they were under the agreement to treat black people like crap or don't entertain black people. Now, mind you, right? She denies slavery. She denies Jim Crow. She denies the impacts of anti-black racism, right? And she had this element of this shit right in her own family. Shout out to Black Star Racer. What's good with it, bro? She had this element of this right in her own family, and she's a liar, and she sits here and lies and denies, and it was right in her own immigrant family. This chick is a flake. The way she humping around, she gives new meaning to the term get a leg up on your competition.
It's okay if we have differences, but let's figure out how we can be respectful and go back to our national purpose and what has made America great in the first place.
Want to go back to your college days, went to Clemson, you meet Michael there. What first attracted you to him, and describe your first date?
You know, we met my very first weekend at Clemson. His roommate lived in the small town that I did. And so on the weekend, we...
One night stand. One night stand got busted down your first week at school.
What first attracted you to him, and describe your first date?
You know, we met my very first weekend at Clemson. His roommate lived in the small town that I did. And so on the weekend, we met up together. And literally the second we saw each other, it was just a connection. And I felt so comfortable.
Yeah. People connect at the waist. You know what I'm saying?
With him, and we had so much fun together, and we laughed, and we dated for 7 years. We've now been married for 26. We grew up together. I was 17, he was 19. He's the first boyfriend I've had, and you know, it's special. And
and he was and he was the first and he was the first boyfriend that she had. Oh man, she's living her best life right now. She living her best life right now.
We were at Clemson. We got engaged at Clemson. Our daughter ended up going to Clemson. She got engaged at Clemson. You know, it's just been a great life with him. I'm very proud of him. It's, you know, always tough, the fact that he's deployed, but we're so proud of him as a family. And
all right, man, hold on. We got to do an examination here. Look at the hands. Look at the hands. Look at the hands right there. Look at the hands. You see that? Look at them hands. Look at them hands. She got the Coco Chanel glasses on. But what I'm saying is look at them damn hands. Who would deal with a woman's hands looking like that? Them hands look like they could kick a field goal. Who would feel comfortable with them hands on them? I'm sorry, man. Nope. John said she got the baboon hands. She got the baboon hands. Oh, man, she got the baboon hands. Come on now. Get a damn manicure or something. It's already bad enough that your knuckles is all crooked and weird like that. But your nails looking like that? I appreciate nice looking hands. You know what I'm saying? Hand hygiene is a wonderful thing. Manicured fingernails are nice. You know what I'm saying? For a woman. That's some shit that I like. Everybody may not be into that. I'm into that. You can't have no messed up hands. Your hands gotta be nice. She looked like she been working on a transmission and then just decided to lay a wet one on her husband's lips after she repaired some brake shoes barehanded. Man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. For real, shout out to the fellas. We got a couple fellas in here. How many fellas would actually be okay with them hands touching you? Them hands look like she been using orange granite soap to wash her hands with. Now, you know, women usually use like special type products for their hands, just lotions and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some nice soaps, you know what I'm saying? Bath and Body Works or something like that. She looked like she got that big ass orange pump of granite mechanic soap, and that's what she been washing her hands with her entire life. Them hands look like she could do all type of work around the house. And not the traditional type of work. I'm talking about laying down drywall and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, she got them kind of hands. I'm surprised. I bet you she got a finger or two missing on the other hand. Now, you know, there are some women that do manual labor jobs and, you know what I'm saying, things happen. But in most cases, most women, you know what I'm saying, most women's hands ain't like that. I'm questioning all of the dudes that decided to you know, slum around with her. You was okay with them hands on you? Them hands make me uncomfortable. Whatever.
But we're so proud of him as a family and appreciate his service to our country.
I read that you had heard Hillary Clinton speak, and that inspired you to run. Politics aside, would you consider her to be a role model?
When I went to
shout out to Dora. Dora says she has hands like my Uncle Tank. Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, she looked like she uses that that orange granite soap, and she's used it for a long time. Looks like she removes nails from 2x4s with her fingers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John. John said, Rob got me dying. She putting shingles on the roof with no hammer, just hitting it with her palms. Yeah, she just hitting it with her palms like a kettleball. You know, they got to do two things at once. Modern woman got to multitask. Get on top of the house and start, you know, doing the kettleball squat and knock down a shingle. You know what I'm saying? Shit crazy, man. Get your hands together.
Furman University, I don't know that I have anything in common with Hillary Clinton from a policy aspect. But on that stage, she said, for every reason they tell you you can't do something, that's the reason you should do it. And I walked out of there and said, I'm running for office.
See, she's inspired by Hillary Clinton. She's a woman just like me.
Would you consider her to be a role model?
When I went to Furman University, I don't know that I have anything in common with Hillary Clinton from a policy aspect. But on that stage, she said, for every reason they tell you you can't do something, that's the reason you should do it. And I walked.
Modern woman, man. She's got her inspiration from the OG modern woman, Hillary Clinton. Shout out to Ty Valentine. Ty Valentine said Vivek and Kamala can't tell you the state of affairs in India, though. They can't tell you the state of affairs here in the United States. Shout out to Torian. Torian said she heard what you said about her attire yesterday and she switched it up. Oh, yeah? What's she wearing today? You know, what's her name? Brittany Venti should give her a little fashion tutorial. Maybe that might help. Yeah, pantsuit Hillary. Hillary Clinton is the OG woman with front zip-up pants. You know what I'm saying? If you got hands like Nikki Haley and you're a woman with front zip-up pants, you might be making a decent amount of money, but just stop and take a moment and look at yourself in the mirror and analyze things. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ask people to do.
Walked out of there and said, I'm running for office.
Just in a matter of 12 years, you went from accountant to governor to UN ambassador.
That's what we about to start calling these people like Nikki Haley, the FZUs, the front zip-ups. Front zip-up women. Now, is anybody, now that Nikki Haley is a front zip-up woman, is anybody surprised that she did not oppose the ban on the LGBTQ bathroom issues, being that Nikki Haley is a front zip-up woman?
At the same time being a mom, the same time managing to have Haley Family Fun Nights on Fridays.
It's always been family first. I've always said, if I'm a good mom and a good wife, I'll be a good governor. I remember the days when the kids were young. If I forgot to sign, you know, some sort of slip, or if I forgot to put a snack in their bag, I felt it all day. I felt it all day. So I've always focused on the first thing in the morning. I send them, the kids and Michael, a message, tell them I love them, to have a great day. I stay in touch with them throughout that. I think you have to be a mom and a wife first. And if you know your family is okay, there's nothing you can't do. And then prioritizing. You know, when I was governor, we had dinner as a family together 5 out of 7 nights a week. We had Haley Family Fun Night every Friday night. Sundays were our days that we shared together. Those things are important, not for them, but for me. I needed to feel that because I think
she's so inauthentic and unelectable, if you ask me, in my opinion. Anybody could see how phony this woman is. Like I said before, like I said yesterday, she's one of those type of people that are literally just tell you anything that you want to hear. And people that'll tell you anything that you want to hear, as much as people do enjoy surrounding themselves by, you know, with those type of people, it's not the way to go. It's not the way to go. You know what I'm saying?
I think at the end of the day, politics.
Yeah, it's a pants. Listen, man, the front zip up, the front zip up women, that's a statement. You remember back in the day, the saying used to say, who's wearing the pants in this relationship? It's a statement with these women wearing pants. You know what I'm saying? You're wearing pants. You're wearing slacks. You're wearing trousers that zip up in the front. And you're a woman. There's no such thing as quote unquote ladylike anymore. If you say something or someone should be ladylike, that's misogynistic. That's misogyny. It would be nice if you'd be more ladylike. I remember back in the day when the girls in class would act unruly and a female teacher would check a girl. Hey, be a little bit more ladylike. That'll stop somebody right in their tracks. They'll start acting right real quick. Oh my goodness, the teacher said I need to be more ladylike. Nowadays, if you tell somebody to start being a little bit more ladylike, they'll take in the deepest breath that they possibly can and belch, and it'll sound like a fleet of 18-wheelers. And they'll just look at you then and say they don't need a man, which is why they don't have to be ladylike. It's crazy. When is the last time anybody ever heard anybody say be ladylike? That's what you used to like. They would say that to the little young girl, like, you know what I'm saying? Like to the girls. To the young girls, you know what I'm saying? Like at Sunday school or something like that. You need to be more ladylike. And the young girl would listen and they'll say, okay. And this would be a female always would say that. It would never be a male teacher that said it or a male guardian or whoever. It would be a female that would say it. You know what I'm saying? But then came pants and the front zip up movement and belching and farting and swearing and cigarette smoking and drinking and being louder than the speaker at the place that you're drinking at. And then that kind of stuff became encouraged. And now it's 2024 and one of them is running for president.
It doesn't consume me. It never has. Politics is a part of my life, but there's a lot more. There's faith, there's family, but yes, there's country. And so it's all of those.
You were the first Indian American governor, would be the first Indian American president. Is there a weight to that?
There's not a weight to that because I think that what's important is finding the right person to be president. You know, it's not about being the first woman or the first minority. Those are things it's good to get out of the way because people stop talking about it. But it's really more important that Americans feel that they can trust this person and that they have a relationship with them and that they know that they're fighting for them. I think that matters more than anything else, especially now with a country in disarray and a world on fire. People are nervous. They're tired. They want to feel safe again. And that's, I think,
There used to be a time like when there was expectations and a code of conduct for men and women, right? But that's non-existent anymore. Nowadays, you have women like Nikki Haley, and you have dudes that actually, they think that a woman is supposed to take care of them. These dudes have been such slouches that nowadays you literally have women leading, talking about relationships, about how they want to take care of their man. What? Listen to how crazy that sounds. Your woman taking care of her man. And dudes, just a lot of dudes like it. I want to be taken care of. I want to be kept. Sit around all day and play video games while my manly girlfriend goes and changes tires and bosses everybody around at work. Seriously? It's not hard to see why we have the bathroom issue, the way that people, the way that people are moving in life. You know what I'm saying? They've reversed these employment roles. They've reversed these social roles. And now people are mentally confused as far as the roles go. You have men at home being wives, and you have women at work being husbands. And people wonder why you got men fighting to use a woman bathroom. Is just the next progression of things. Next thing you know, you're gonna have men walking around in French maid suit outfits at home, cleaning up the place for their woman so that they can get home. It's ridiculous, man. We live in a ridiculous upside down world. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Miss Nisi. Miss Nisi says, I'm nearly 60 and I've never taken care of a grown ass man. I told my son to never depend on a woman to take care of you. You do that for yourself. Facts. Shout out to Miss Nikki. Absolutely. Dropping game on your son. That's exactly right. Shout out to DeAndre. DeAndre says she do excavations with her bare hands. Yeah, she would never be Trump's vice president because Trump said that he wanted to start back fracking again, and they need Nikki Haley's hands for that. They need her hands to go deep, deep down into the ground and tap that oil with those periscope fingers. You know what I'm saying?
Mom and me that wants to go and put my arms around them and say, we're going to be okay, but we've got some work to do, and this is how we're going to get there. And at the end of it, we're going to show everybody that they can be strong and proud again in America.
Greatest strength?
My courage.
Greatest weakness?
Not that I don't have a lot of them, but I would say my emotion. I feel when someone hurts, I feel their pain.
I feel. Yeah, that's exactly what we need, is somebody that feels. Now, I didn't say this. She did. I feel. I didn't say it. You're being so misogynistic. I didn't say this. Man, could you imagine what happens, man, if she, you know what I'm saying, one of these days, one of those days when the chemicals ain't what they supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Wake up on the wrong side of the bed, got some cramps, and it's the day that you're supposed to meet with Vladimir Putin. What's that looking like? World War III? Because somebody left their naproxen on the plane or what?
When someone fights, I feel that fight. The emotional side is I'm very emotionally connected to people that I'm.
We know. We know. We know. We know. We know. You don't have to tell us this stuff. Now, if it was one of us, a man, a male, one of us who said this, we would be being misogynistic. We'd be being misogynistic. You're putting her in a box. You're making assumptions. We don't need to put her in the box if she's going to give the testimony on her own. She's giving the testimony on her own. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 25 people watching and we got 27 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 40, that'd be great.
I'm trying to help.
Biggest misconception about you?
That I am too motivated. You know, they always love to say, oh, she's motivated. She's ambitious. That's.
Oh, she's motivated. Oh, she's ambitious. You heard me say it yesterday, and it was a little bit more creative and a little bit more funny. And I took a little bit longer doing it. But let me ask you guys this question. Is she literally telling you all the same things that I told you yesterday in that live stream? If she is, give me a thumbs up. If she's not, give me a thumbs down.
It's always been, she's ambitious. You know, what I've been is I've been blessed. I focus on doing my job today, and God has opened doors. And when God opens those doors, I've had the courage to walk through those doors. But at the end of the day, you know, for them to think it's calculated, it's not calculated. It's me, you know, walking by faith.
The road not taken for Nikki Haley.
I've always.
Man, she does all the red flags, man. All the red flags. Bringing religion into it. It's just me walking my face. Oh, it's just me living my truth. Oh, I'm emotional. All the red flags, man. Every single one of them. She's Hey, y'all know that alert emoji? Put that alert emoji in the chat. This is an alert. We have a runaway modern in Sector 5. This is an alert. We have a runaway modern in Sector 5. I didn't even need to do that. Man, I wish I had used this video for that live stream that I did yesterday.
Pushed through that fear. I've always taken every road, because the one thing I tell everyone is when you push through the fear, you find out how strong you are. If you don't push through the fear, you never know what could have been.
Now, what did your parents do as far as when they were confronted with fear and those white people said, hey, you can live here if you don't entertain black people? What did your parents do? Did they push through the fear? They pushed through the fear? We're going to take a look at Nikki Haley versus Ron DeSantis, since both of them are losers. We're going to take a look at them talking about immigration, because you guys know immigration and the migrant crisis is one of my favorite topics. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about that. This is Nikki Haley versus Ron DeSantis about Social Security. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys to see how many people you all think will vote for how Nikki Haley feels that Social Security should be dealt with. Because that's a big issue. Let's check this out.
Let's move on to Social Security. According to the Social Security Administration, Social Security will be unable to pay full benefits in a decade if no action is taken. Governor DeSantis, you have said that you're not going to, quote, mess with Social Security, unquote. Does that mean you have committed to...
Hold on. I'm going to change this to my account where I got YouTube Premium at so that we can watch it at the higher bit rate. Give me 1 second. While you guys are waiting, y'all already know what to do. Y'all already know what to do. We almost got 300 subscribers already, guys, and we just started doing this channel. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? That's not bad. Let me see. Hold on real quick. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 second here. Okay, there we go. Default view. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I can't stand all those different squares. Shout out to my man Michael R. What's good with it, bro? I can't stand all those extra options for how you can view the screen that they give you, because you click one of them by accident, and then next thing you know, you can't get it back to the way that it is. You need to keep this stuff simple.
Let's move on to Social Security. According to the Social Security Administration, Social Security will be unable to pay
Facts.
full benefits in a decade if no action is taken. Governor DeSantis, you have said that you're not going to, quote, mess with Social Security, unquote. Does that mean you have committed to never raising the retirement age and never cutting benefits?
So all seniors out there, promise has been made to you. You've paid into this. Every single paycheck that you've had your entire life, they've taken money out of, and that promise needs to be fulfilled. So that will happen when I'm president. Of course, I have a lot of seniors in Florida that depend on Social Security. I know many of them. And I think back to my own grandmother who was lived till 91. Social Security was her sole source of income. So promise made, promise kept.
Make sure that you guys show John Guillory some love for being a like enforcer. Definitely appreciate it. That enforcing those likes is definitely going to get us to 500 subs in no time.
You know, on the retirement age, you know, it used to be people would say, well, life expectancy is going up. Shouldn't it mirror that? Well, the problem now in the last 5 years is life expectancy is going down. So I don't see how you can raise the retirement age when our life expectancy is collapsing in this country. That's a huge problem in and of itself. I'll work with both sides of the aisle. We'll work on something for the long-term strengthening, but I am not going to mess with seniors' benefits. In this high inflation environment, groceries are going through the roof. Rent is going through the roof, all these staples, and you get a cost of living adjustment, but that's not enough to cover the cost.
Shout out to Black Lightning. What's good with it, bro?
Seniors are really strapped, particularly those that are on fixed income, and they have to know that we're going to deliver when it comes to their Social Security check. Now, we're going to get inflation down. We're going to get energy costs down. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to help seniors, but I think seniors should know promise made will be.
Now, here goes my question. I really don't hear anybody talking very much about Social Security. And my question for you guys is, what are you all's thoughts on Social Security? Did you all know that they were even in the works of thinking about possibly changing it? I am not very happy about what's been done with Social Security at all. I told you guys Ron DeSantis be doing that bobblehead. Remember I kept telling you guys, I said Ron DeSantis gets all weird and he starts bobbling his head. There you go, right there. You see it, live action right there. He's looking like a Pez dispenser. Lil Ron. You know what I'm saying? Lil Ron going in, though.
Be a promise cap.
So just a point of clarification, 15 seconds.
I actually agree with Lil Ron on Social Security. You know what I'm saying?
Removing current seniors from the equation, you're not saying that you're committing to never raising the retirement age or cutting benefits.
I would never raise the retirement age in the face of declining life expectancy. I mean, I think that would be really bad. I mean, just think about it. That hurts blue collar folks. You get taxed your entire life. Life expectancy's down. You may not even be recouping very many benefits.
Look at Nikki with all that damn makeup caked on her face, about to start trolling. She knows she ain't shit. She actually we'll get there. Hold on. I feel that, Miss Niecy. Shout out to Miss Niecy. Miss Niecy said, honestly, Rob, I'm not counting on Social Security to even be here by the time I decide to retire. Me either. However, I'm irritated because I'm paying into it. You know what I'm saying? I see that Social Security come out of my paycheck all the time, and I just know that by the time it's time for me to be able to stop working, I'm gonna still be having to sit up here and greet at Walmart and grift on YouTube if I can even remember how to turn a computer on at that age. The computers might be too damn complicated to turn on for me at that age. You know what I'm saying? My YouTube account would just be lost. It'd just be gone. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just had to make little videos on the phone. Ain't nobody gonna watch them. You know what I'm saying? All the young kids that have all kind of new stuff, ain't nobody gonna be watching that old shit. But what makes me angry. I've been paying into that. I've been working since I was 15 years old, man. I get those printouts. I don't know if you guys get the printouts about your calculated Social Security, man. I've been paying into that. And then just boom, we're just not gonna have it. That pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? That pisses me off. Yeah, shout out to Miss Nisi. Been working since 14. We should have a nice, already built up stipend of at least $1,500 a month, but it's not guaranteed. Yet they can send all this money overseas for these wars. Now think about this. We're fighting at this point in history right now for Social Security. Social Security. Just saying, just think about that.
And so life expectancy is declining. That's a big problem.
Haley.
3 years in a row, he voted to raise life expectancy to 70 years old. 3 years in a row. Go to DeSantisLies.com and you'll see it. So now suddenly he's going to tell you because he's running for president, he's not going to do it. You can't trust him. What I'll tell you, Social Security is going to go bankrupt in 10 years. Medicare is going to go bankrupt in 8. He talks about taking care of seniors. Right now, it's Florida is the inflation hotspot. It's the highest cost of living of any state in the country. Seniors are having to leave because they can't afford it. It's documented in DeSantisLies.com. What I'll tell you, we have to do.
Oh, man.
We have to keep our promises to seniors, but we also can't put our head in the sand. For those like Ron saying they're not going to touch Social Security, that means they're going to leave after 4 or 8 years and leave it bankrupt? No. What we do is we go to those in their 20s and say we're going to change the retirement age to reflect life expectancy.
I'm not cool with that. And I'm not even in my 20s. I'm way beyond my 20s. But as far as I'm concerned, taking away Social Security is damn near equivalent to taking away citizenship rights. Shout out to Torian. Torian said, Rob, don't you want to give Nimi a handshake, a high five, or a fist bump? I want to give her a pair of gloves. Or a gift card to some place to go get a manicure. Torian said, I'm into my art beard. Yeah, I'm an old ninja. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe that the 20-year-olds need to have their life expectancy increased to pay for stupid shit that the politicians of our generation were doing. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be, see that they want to try to make these moves on the people that are younger while they're not paying attention to politicians. They're not paying attention to politics. They know a lot of 20-year-olds, they're not into this right now. They're going to try to run game on them and shit like that. And I don't think that that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That to me, like that's like sticking it to your kids. That's, to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not cool. How do you get to change the social agreement of Social Security without a court case, but any other contract you get to you got to go to court to change? I'm not cool. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with them trying to run game also while they know that younger kids are distracted in college and all that in their 20s and they're not paying attention to politics, and they're going to try to run this through on them, knowing that a majority of older people will vote for that so that they can get their Social Security. This is sleazy. This is sleazy work and of course it's coming from somebody that's sleazy. You know what I'm saying?
Instead of cost of living increases, we do increases based on inflation. We limit benefits on the wealthy, and we expand Medicare Advantage plans, which seniors love. That's how we'll deal with making sure they have it.
Reducing the benefits, when you do the change in calculation, reducing the benefits. So let's just put this in perspective. Under her administration, you would have seniors getting less cost of living adjustments, while your tax dollars are going to pay the pensions of Ukrainian bureaucrats.
That's not true.
You talk about
That's
putting
such a
Americans
lie,
last.
Ron.
That is wrong. You've supported all that money going over there. So let's put
You're
our
so
own people
desperate.
first. We
You're
have to
just
put
so
our people
desperate.
first.
Look, you see, Nikki. See what Ron DeSantis is saying here. It is accurate about what Nikki Haley is saying. But do you see? Remember how she said in that interview earlier, I'm emotional. I'm emotional. Look what she's doing. You're so desperate. Wait your turn and debunk his point then. You're so desperate. Debunk his point. When it's your turn. You know what I'm saying? She can't help it. She can't help it. She's imagine. Look at this. This is the double negative, DeAndre. She says that she doesn't take politics personal, and then in the next sentence, she says her weakness is that she's overly emotional. Nah, B, you don't get the job. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the job.
Deal with making sure they have it.
Reducing the benefits. When you do the change in calculation, reducing the benefits. Let's just put this in perspective. Under her administration, you would have seniors getting less cost of living adjustments, while your tax dollars are going to pay the pensions of Ukrainian bureaucrats.
That's not true.
You talk about putting
That's such a
Americans
lie,
last.
Ron.
That is wrong. You've supported all
man,
that money going over there.
She
so
went.
Let's put
You're
our
so
own people
desperate.
first.
She went full high school. She went full spoiled brat Valley girl. That's not chill. That's not chill. You're so desperate. Like, really? Now, again, Ron DeSantis, not my favorite politician, but you saw Ron DeSantis sat there and waited his turn, and he came back, you know what I'm saying? Said what he had to say. Now, she can't handle it. She cannot handle it. And the reason why she can't handle it is because he's saying some real shit. That's not true. It's not true. Oh, my God. You're so desperate. You see how she went from trolling at first and now she got this evil ass look on her face? So I'm saying, man, imagine how, if a meeting went bad with a country like China or Russia with Nikki Haley as a president. The last thing that the United States will hear is the clicking of whatever high heels that she's wearing to the box where the nukes are, and then it's a wrap. Like Kid Gravity, rap. It's a rap. It's a rap. It's a rap for a round. You know what I'm saying? She all in her emotions. How we gonna get around that? She gonna shoot off one of them ballistic missiles. It's gonna wrap around. It's gonna wrap around rap. And it's a wrap when Russia fire back. You know what I'm saying? Now, how we gonna get around that? Like, seriously? Make it make sense. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this display of modernism. This display of postmodern behavior. Look at this.
Pensions of Ukrainian bureaucrats.
That's not true.
You talk about
That's
putting
such a
Americans
lie,
last.
Ron.
That is wrong. You've supported all that money going over there. So let's put
You're
our
so
own people
desperate.
first. We
You're
have to
just
put
so
Governor
desperate.
Haley, let him
and she
speak.
also said, recently that the age of Social Security is way too low. And I criticized that. And then she was called on it. And then she said she never said it. Of course, you're lying.
How is the age of Social Security way too low? Let me ask you guys this. We're gonna get a consensus on this in the comments section. Do you all feel that the age of Social Security is way too low? And shout out to Denise, Miss Nisi, for being a bot enforcer. If you guys feel that the age of Social Security is way too low, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't feel like the age of Social Security is too low, then give me a thumbs down. It's a wrap, a round wrap. How you gonna wrap around that? Right. Right.
And then turn enough, you put on the interview where she's there, spit an image, and she says it's way too low. So we can play this song and dance. She has a record. She makes statements. And I think part of the problem with her candidacy is now that she's getting scrutiny, she's got this problem with ballistic podiatry, shooting herself in the foot every other day, saying things that now she doesn't even take questions from people.
Thank you, Governor DeSantis. Governor Haley, you want to raise the retirement age for younger Americans, but you have not said.
He's hey, that's the first time Ron DeSantis ever scored some points. He says she got a problem with ballistic podiatry because she keeps shooting herself in the foot.
What that age should be. Should voters in their 20s plan on working until they're 70?
First of all, he hasn't answered the fact that he voted to raise the retirement age to 73 different times. He can call me whatever name and be demeaning as much as he wants. It doesn't change the fact that Ron's lying because Ron's losing.
Oh man, she's virtual signaling so bad, man. She virtue signaling so bad. He can call me all kind of names. Man, her southern accent's coming out. She's mad. And this is what I'm saying about she's mad. Look at how it took literally nothing to get her that mad. Nothing. It took nothing to get her that mad. Again, just imagine if this was one of these countries that we have a hostile relationship. What if she was talking to Kim Jong-un on the phone?
As much as he wants. It doesn't change the fact that Ron's lying because Ron's losing. Everybody in the country sees it for what it is. So what I'll tell you is, yes, we're going to be responsible with it, and we're going to go to those in our 20s.
Ron's lying because Ron's losing.
When I said the retirement age was too low,
this is bad, man. Again, it's a bad day when you got me up here defending Ron DeSantis. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad Nikki Haley is. I don't really understand conservatives or conservative people in their mind state. It really boggles my mind that there was, to me, the best prospect is Trump, right? But it boggles my mind that even as much of a dumbass that Ron DeSantis is, that people would actually pick Haley over him because she's bad. Like, she's the worst. She should be the one out of the runnings right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sybil. What's good with it? Now, I don't agree with the stuff that Ron DeSantis says or does, but as far as just even poise and composure when it comes to the debates, like, Nikki Haley is out here making herself look really bad. I mean, you got to be really bad to make Ron DeSantis look good, and she's making Ron DeSantis look good. Yeah, and I got to agree, and that's why I keep asking that question, Mike. Shout out to Michael R. Michael R. said there's a reason MSNBC and CNN are pushing her. That's why I keep saying, do you guys notice how all the mainstream media are just, they're like, this is their person? I think that the liberal media is trying to do, they're even though Nikki Haley is a Republican, they're trying to make Nikki Haley their Joe Biden backup plan. Yeah, Lil Ron got her off her square right quick. Facts. And then he threw in that shit about shooting herself in the foot. And I bet you Nikki Haley really felt that one, because I bet you, you know what I'm saying? I bet you if her hands is looking like that, I don't even want to think about, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So she probably took that personal, and that's why she mad.
Again, where he's lying. It's because if you go, and you can go to DeSantisLies.com, I said it's too low if we're going to look at those in their 20s. We have to go and start looking at what we can do to get out of this. We want to make sure that everybody who was promised gets it, but we also want to make sure our kids have something when they get it too. So the way we do that is exactly how I laid it out. Then we'll know what we're looking at, and then we can start focusing. The other thing is we need to start cutting spending in D.C. We have to go back to pre-COVID levels. That's why I'll veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID levels. That will save us trillions. We've got to go into every agency, replace replace the head of every agency and send people into every agency. I did that as governor.
Yeah, yeah,
Pull
I
down
remember
old
him,
regs,
Black
pull
Free
down old
Thinker.
programs, get rid of any problem children, and clean those agencies out and get them mission focused. There is a lot of waste in D.C. You need an accountant to go in there and clean it up, but we're not going to take away from anyone else. And he's yet to answer the fact that he voted 3 times to raise the retirement
Just a
age.
clarification, Governor Haley, in 15 seconds, should voters in their 20s plan on having to work until they're 70?
They should plan on their retirement age being increased. Yes, we're going to change.
There you have it. They should plan on having their retirement age increased. Now, who is that good news for, guys? Who is that good news for? Here's an article from Newsweek. This article came out on January 19th. Americans get a warning about Social Security. Seniors may be in for a surprise next year when their Social Security benefits could increase by the lowest amount in 4 years. The Senior Citizens League recently warned. Every year, Social Security payments amount changed based on the cost of living adjustment, which looks at the state of inflation and offers seniors a new monthly check based on that. So this is basically inflation adjustment that they do for Social Security. Okay. For the past few years, Social Security payments have been skyrocketing due to inflation. While 2024 saw a COLA of 3.2%, seniors saw Social Security increase as high as 8.7% in 2023. How many people knew that? If you knew that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't know that, give me a thumbs down. However, seniors shouldn't expect a similar uptick in 2025. Instead, TSCL said they can anticipate a COLA as low as 1.4%, which would be the smallest since 2021, which was 1.3%. All right. Now, this is important, right? Because if you ask me, this stuff and this stuff alone is one of the reasons why Nikki Haley should not get anybody's vote. No politician, regardless of if you're on the right or if you're on the left, unless you're figuring out ways to put money into Social Security to make sure that the United States can continue to keep its promise of Social Security, if you're talking about decreasing it or raising retirement ages or decreasing amounts, that's an automatic disqualifier, if you ask me. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Here's my question for you guys. How many people paid into Social Security? Is there anybody in here who has not had a paycheck where Social Security was deducted from it? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 27 people watching and we got 30 likes. If everybody can bang on that like button and get us to 40, that'd be great. To all the people that have paid into Social Security, my question for you guys is, how do you feel hearing this? How do you feel hearing this? What thoughts go through your head when you hear this? As soon as I start hearing the rumors that Social Security may go broke or, they might not have enough money to pay Social Security, started upsetting me. Started upsetting me. Now, knowing that I'm paying this and I might not even get mine, upsetting me even more. But you know who is getting money? Migrants. You know who is getting money? Ukraine. That should never be a thing. There should never be a situation where more money is going out from the United States than what's being reinvested back into the United States before money goes out. The facts. The Martians out here getting paid too. In December, inflation stood at 3.4%. If it continues to improve, the reduced increase could be troubling for seniors who have to pay higher than average costs for housing and hospital care. Okay. The Social Security COLA will be hurt by a slowing increase in the rise of inflation, which will definitely impact retirees receiving Social Security. Kevin Thompson, a certified financial planner and the founder and CEO of 9i Capital Group, told Newsweek on Friday. This will be detrimental to seniors because food prices are quite sticky at the moment and are not coming down. My question for you guys is, what does that mean? Food prices are quite sticky at the moment and are not coming down. What's that mean? What's that mean, ladies and gentlemen? That's the best question ever. Who got an answer for DeAndre? DeAndre says, so if the money for Social Security, so if ain't no money for Social Security, where's the money going that they're still taking out of my check? That's a great question, bro. And I have no idea where. I don't have any answer. Yeah, I gotta agree. If you guys agree with Black Lightning, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Black Lightning says, sounds like we should be wise when it comes to spending money. Yeah, that would be great advice, bro. That would be great advice. You know what I mean? So now here it says the estimate for 2025 COLA could change before the Social Security Administration officially announces the adjustment in October, but seniors remain concerned about how this could affect their quality of life. Okay. For the past 20 years, the COLA average has been 2.6%, so the predicted 2025 increase would be more than 1% lower than seniors have generally been used to. Roughly half of seniors get at least 50% of their income from Social Security benefits, and 25% have to depend on their benefits for 90% of their income. One of the biggest challenges for those relying on Social Security may be their ability to cover healthcare costs, since those prices remain far higher than a 1.4% COLA would indicate. Healthcare costs continues to rise, far outpacing inflation, which is one of the largest costs for those receiving Social Security. Now, let's just pause right there, because we've had inflation at 40-year highs this year, or, last year. We've had inflation at 40-year highs, right? In healthcare, the price of it is increasing faster than inflation. So my question is, how do you deal with that? What candidate gives the best offering when it comes to this? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed to M.A.G.A.TRON 645 on Twitter, when the bots put the link in the chat, please, it's extremely important. Make sure that you guys go and subscribe on Twitter, okay? Make sure you hit the bell notification twice on Twitter like how you do on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel and you're watching, hit that bell and then continue to watch. Seniors will have to live off the COLA increase, even though it will only have a mild benefit and little to no impact against rising food and healthcare prices. Soon-to-be seniors are already worried about the future of Social Security, as the SSA is set to face a 23% benefit cut in 2033 if no reform action is taken. Why is that going to happen? Now, if you ask me, that right there is one of the reasons why Nikki Haley is trying to play around with the numbers to stop that particular event from taking place, or either to slow it down from happening. Okay? Even with this year's 3.2% COLA on Social Security checks, many seniors have been dissatisfied and forced into tough financial constraints. Atticus, a legal help platform, found this past November that 70% of single seniors are struggling financially, and 40% of seniors are considering re-entering the workforce as inflation remains high. Now, let me ask you guys something. When you become bedbound and you have to rub Bengay on yourself all day, you know what I'm saying, icy hot, in order to be able to move, you know what I'm saying, you got to go to the bathroom every 5 seconds because your prostate is swollen up. You want to go back to work? You want to stand on your knees that's about to collapse from the inside like some dry rotted wood? Sitting up there greeting rude millennials at Walmart? That's what you want to do? Not me. Not me. But you see what Nikki Haley said. What Nikki Haley said is right along the lines of this. You know, hold on real quick. Wait a minute. Do we finish this video? Hold on. All right, hold on. No, I don't think we finished this. Wait a minute. I don't know what happened here, but oh, you know what? Wait. Hold up. Give me 1 second. I think something happened here. Hold on. Okay. Let me see. Okay, yeah, hold on. Where were we at? I think we were right in the middle of this video. My bad, you guys. It got turned off. And I had to find a place again. All right. Check this out.
Saying they're not going to touch Social Security. That means they're going to leave after 4 or 8 years and leave it bankrupt? No. What we do is we go to those in their 20s and say we're going to change the retirement age to reflect life expectancy. Instead of cost of living increases, we do increases based on inflation. We limit benefits on the wealthy, and we expand Medicare Advantage plans, which seniors love. That's how we'll deal with making sure they have it.
Reducing the benefits, when you do the change in calculation, reducing the benefits. Let's just put this in perspective. Under her administration, you would have seniors getting less cost of living adjustments while your tax dollars are going to pay the pensions of Ukrainian bureaucrats.
That's not true.
You talk about putting Americans last.
Ron.
That is wrong. You've supported all that money going over there. So let's put our own people first. We
You're
have to
just
put
so
Governor Haley, let him
and
speak.
she also said, recently that the age of Social Security is way too low.
She's such a damn drama queen. She's such a damn drama queen. All of these performances and theatrics. My question for you guys is, with all of these performances and theatrics, how do you see these performances and theatrics playing out when she's dealing with a global issue? When she has to deal with men, for one, who already have an issue with a woman being in power, and then she's just conducting herself the way that she conducts herself. How do you see those interactions going? Here's another question. How do you guys see the interaction going when an LGBTQ member of government has to have a sit down and meeting with people in the Middle East? How's that going to work when they have to go over to Saudi Arabia or Jordan or Yemen or something like that?
Low, And I criticized that. And then she was called on it. And then she said she never said it. Of course, you're lying. And then sure enough, you put on the interview where she's there, spit an image, and she says it's way too low. So, we can play this song and dance. She has a record. She makes statements. And I think part of the problem with her candidacy is now that she's getting scrutiny, she's got this problem with ballistic podiatry, shooting herself in the foot every other day, saying things that now she doesn't even take questions from people.
Thank you, Governor DeSantis. Governor Haley, you want to raise the retirement age for younger Americans, but you have not said what that age should be. Should voters in their 20s plan on working until they're 70?
First of all, he hasn't answered the fact that he voted to raise the retirement age to 73 different times. He can call me whatever name and be demeaning as much as he wants. It doesn't change the fact that Ron's lying because Ron's losing. Everybody in the country sees it for what it is. So what I'll tell you is, yes, we're going to be responsible with it, and we're going to go to those in our 20s. When I said the retirement age was too low, again, where he's lying, it's because if you go, and you can go to DeSantisLies.com, I said it's too low if we're going to look at those in their 20s. We have to go and start looking at what we can do to get out of this. We want to make sure that everybody who was promised gets it, but we also want to make sure our kids have something when they get it too. So the way we do that is exactly how I laid it out. Then we'll know what we're looking at, and then we can start focusing. The other thing is we need to start cutting spending in D.C. We have to go back to pre-COVID levels. That's why I'll veto any spending bill that doesn't take us back to pre-COVID levels. That will save us trillions. We've got to go into every agency, replace the head of every agency, and send people into every agency. I did that as governor. Pull down old regs, pull down old programs, get rid of any problem children, and clean those agencies out and get them mission focused. There is a lot of waste in D.C. You need an accountant to go in there and clean it up, but we're not going to take away from anyone else. And he's yet to answer the fact that he voted 3 times to raise the retirement age.
Just a clarification, Governor Haley, in 15 seconds, should voters in their 20s plan on having to work until they're 70?
They should plan on their retirement age being increased. Yes.
They should plan on their retirement age being increased. And isn't this another classic freeze frame? Classic freeze frame. Another classic freeze frame.
We're going to change it to reflect more of what life expectancy should be.
Well, one of the things that I think we disagree on too is Governor Haley has said Social Security is an entitlement, but it's not an entitlement. You're paying into it. It's not a welfare program. You're being taxed for this your whole life. And so to expect to have benefits on the back end, I don't think that that's too much. The other thing I'd point out is Social Security for decades ran massive surpluses. What happened to those surpluses? The Congress spent the surpluses.
Yes, when you
they
raise
have a
the
big
debt.
problem with that. So number one, we need term limits for members of Congress. Number two, we need a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Number three, we need to give the president a line item veto. And number four, when you see all these congressmen making a killing in the stock market, like Nancy Pelosi, she could run a very lucrative hedge fund. We need a 28th Amendment to the Constitution that says very simply, Congress shall make no law respecting the citizens of the United States that does not also apply to members of Congress themselves.
All right, so there's that. There's that. So I want to show you guys this real quick. I want to show you guys this real quick. You guys see that? They should plan on their retirement age being increased. Nikki Haley said at the recent GOP debate that she wants to raise the retirement age above 67. Should you be worried? Now, let me ask you guys a question. What do you all think are the chances of people in New Hampshire supporting what she's selling? Honestly, Trump, as it's been shown, M.A.G.A.TRON does not have to do much. He's just sitting back and letting everybody else implode. Nobody's going to vote for this nonsense. The first Republican presidential primary debate of 2024 showcased a stark divide between Donald Trump's challengers. Social Security. Former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, has maintained throughout the campaign that she's open to raising the retirement age for younger people. Okay. In the January 10th debate, moderator Jake Tapper asked Haley point blank if people in their 20s should expect to work into their 70s. Having a retirement age of 70 is just wow to me. I hear that and I look and I just shake my head. You're talking about people are going to have to work to their 70? They really want to just work people until their skin falls off of their bones and people just fall out. They just want to work people until the skin falls off of their bones and they just fall out. You know what I'm saying? They should plan on their retirement age being increased, Haley said. Who's going to vote for that? Literally nobody's feeling that. Literally nobody's feeling that. They better figure something else out. Haley's opponent, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, vehemently disagreed with her on raising the retirement age, pointing out that retirees have been paying into Social Security their whole lives and deserve to receive it. And I agree. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. This is what we just saw. It's not a welfare program. You're being taxed for this your whole life, he said, which is funny because, you know, we're being taxed for Medicare and Medicaid too. But then when you decide to use it, all of a sudden it's a welfare program. What's behind Haley and DeSantis' views on Social Security? And should you be worried if either receives a GOP nomination? So where we're at right now is we are at Haley possibly receiving the GOP nomination. Okay. Why does Haley want to raise the retirement age? Haley assured current and soon-to-be retirees that they will receive their full Social Security entitlement at the current retirement age of 67. Now, isn't 67 a raise? Because it used to be 65, didn't it? The retirement age used to be 65, right? And now they've raised it to 67. But she remained vague during the debate about the exact age that she would raise it to. They could raise it to anything. We want to make sure that everybody who was promised gets it, she said. But we also want to make sure that our kids have something when they get it too. Haley's statements come in light of the fact that Social Security may not be able to hand out full entitlements in the near future. Uh-oh. So now this place here is calling out inconsistencies with what Haley is saying. According to this year's Social Security and Medicare trustees report, the fund supporting Social Security will, at current funding levels, only be able to pay 100% of scheduled Social Security benefits until 2023. I'm sorry, until 2033. All right. That's 9 years from now. 9 years from now, Social Security current funding will only be able to pay less than 100%. After that, the funds will become depleted and older Americans will only receive 77% of their total scheduled benefit. How you guys like that? How do you guys like that? If you guys like that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't like that, then give me a thumbs down. I don't like that. So that's Haley's take. Okay. So we don't really need to read anything else over here. But I just think that that's interesting. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this video here. We're going to take a look at this video here. Hold on real quick. Let me grab this for later real quick cuz I see Kamala Harris going to have to get roasted. Yeah. Yeah. Kamala Harris gonna have to get roasted by the end of the week. Kamala Harris definitely about to have to get roasted by the end of this week. These people are really showing their asses. Okay. Shout out to DeAndre. DeAndre said, Nikki Crypt Keeper looking ass better keep them catcher's mitts off my Social Security money. Big facts. She looked like one of them sticky hands that you get out of the gumball machine. That's exactly what she's trying to reach out and grab your Social Security money with, too. Those big sticky hands with suction cups on them to have all the damn dollars stick to her fingers and pull back into the damn egg. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley on immigration policy. Okay? What I want you guys to do is pay close attention and see whose immigration policies you all agree with more.
This has been one of the biggest years for illegal border crossings into the United States. Last month alone, 225,000 migrants illegally crossed the southern border. It's a record high, overwhelming the Border Patrol resources that are already stretched thin. Mayors across the country say their cities are being pushed to a breaking point. Governor DeSantis, former President Trump famously promised to build a wall on the southern border. He obviously did not get that done. You have promised to finish the job. How will you succeed where he failed?
We will build a wall. We will actually have Mexico pay for it in the way that I thought Donald Trump was. We're going to charge fees on remittances that workers send to foreign countries, billions of dollars. We'll build the wall. He also promised record deportations. Donald Trump deported fewer people than Barack Obama did when he was president. Biden's let in 8 million people just in 4 years. They all have to go back. We have to enforce the rule of law in this country. Think about what's happening to our country. Just this week, we saw the news that a school in Brooklyn, New York, had the kids stay home. They were not able to go to school, told you can't go get an in-person education. Why? Because the city's commandeering the school to house illegal aliens in it. Talk about putting Americans last. You're putting these kids out of an education because you can't control the border. Biden has failed in this endeavor. He has not taken care that the laws of this country be faithfully executed. Do not trust Nikki Haley with illegal immigration. That's like having the fox guard the hen house. She's on tape.
Hey, do y'all agree with what Ron DeSantis said so far? If y'all agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
At the Aspen Institute, she'll say she didn't say it. She was chastising conservatives, saying it's disrespectful to illegal aliens to say that they're criminals. They're violating the law. It's disrespectful when people come to this country illegally and impose burdens on our communities and run drugs into this country. That's what's disrespectful. She's weak on immigration. She's bankrolled by people who want open borders. And she said there shouldn't be a limit on immigration. You should work with corporate CEOs.
Thanks, Governor.
That is pale pastels. That
Governor,
is warmed
thank
over
you so much. So, Governor Haley.
He said that she's being bankrolled by people that want open borders. Yeah, Ron throwing little Ron keep throwing them zingers in. You know what I'm saying? He came ready today. You know what I'm saying?
Governor DeSantis and also Donald Trump are attacking you for that comment in 2015 in which you said undocumented immigrants should not be called, quote, criminals. At the time, the full context is you said, quote, we don't need to talk about them as criminals. They're not. Their families that want a better life and they're desperate to get here, unquote.
And they got here criminally. So what I want you guys to pay very close attention to is how Nikki Haley sounds a lot like a Democrat when it comes to immigration. Yeah, and that's big facts. Big facts. Bullseye. She's disrespecting her daddy who came to this country legally. Facts. Right. Shout out to DC Precise. They are criminals. Facts. They're entering the border illegally. Super facts.
Governor DeSantis and also Donald Trump are attacking you for that comment in 2015 in which you said undocumented immigrants should not be called, quote, criminals. At the time, the full context is you said, quote, we don't need to talk about them as criminals. They're not. Their families that want a better life and they're desperate to get here, unquote. Do you still feel that way?
I saw them. When I was at the United Nations, I saw them. That doesn't mean we should let them into our country. I mean, first of all, I will tell you that when I was governor of South Carolina, we passed the toughest illegal
Man, I'm telling you, man, Nikki Haley be trying to be an old charmer. She'll tell you anything you want to hear. She'll tell you anything you want to hear. Anything you want to hear. If she can get something from you, she can if she can work some votes out of you, anything you want to hear. What you want to hear?
immigration law in the country. Obama sued us over it, and we won. We fought Obama on illegal immigration. We fought Obama on migrant kids. We fought Obama on Syrian refugees. We fought Obama on Guantanamo Bay prisoners. I have always said we are a country of laws. The second we stop being a country of laws, we give up everything this country was founded on. But I will tell you, in passing that toughest illegal immigration law in the country, we passed E-Verify, which I want to take national, which is where businesses have to prove that the people they hire are in this country legally. I passed it within 6 months of being governor.
Do you notice how the first thing that she did is address businesses' needs to be able to get migrant labor? Do you guys notice that? The first thing that she did is she's taking a conversation about securing the border and turning it into how can businesses benefit from illegal immigration. So what she wants to do is she wants to make it where the people who have come here illegally, the laws are changed to where they can stay here illegally. Give them work permits. Sounding a lot like a Democrat, isn't she? If Nikki Haley sounds like a Democrat, if she sounds like Mayor Eric Adams or Brandon Johnson or any of those folks, give me a thumbs up. If she doesn't, then give me a thumbs down. She's sitting up here sounding like a Democrat. Now, remember when I was saying how the left-wing media is really rocking with Nikki Haley? Nikki Haley is their Republican Biden choice. She's a uniparty, neocon, military industrial complex board member. This is exactly the type of candidate that they want. And she checks off all the boxes. This is just as good as Biden. Nikki Haley got the entire system working behind her, and she's going to fall flat on her crater face. Just watch.
Ron didn't pass it for 5 years. He only waited to pass it when he decided to run for president. What we need to do is not just ban a wall. We need to put 25,000 Border Patrol and ICE agents on the ground and let them do their job. We need to defund sanctuary cities once and for all. No more safe havens for illegal immigrants. We need to make sure we go back to the Remain in Mexico policy so that no one even steps foot on U.S. soil. And instead of catch and release, we need to go to catch and deport.
Now, I want you guys to pay close attention. Nikki Haley is doing what Just Pearly Things does with Manosphere talking points. She's doing that with undocumented bros and people who have issues with illegal immigration talking points. She's repeating talking points that she's heard from the people who have issues with immigration and not giving substantive solutions. And she sounds like a Democrat when she's playing identity politics. Facts, Michael R. Yeah. Shout out to Michael R. Michael R. says she only sounds like a Democrat to me when she's playing identity politics. I had it so hard as a little brown girl in South Carolina. If you don't shut your modern ass up.
That's the only way we'll stop the incentives of these illegal immigrants coming across. Biden turned around and gave 500,000 Venezuelans temporary protective status. That's 500,000 driver's licenses, 500,000 social security numbers. All that does is incentivize them to pick up the phone, call their family members, and tell them.
Governor DeSantis.
She did bring, when she was governor, she did bring Syrian refugees, and she got criticized for that.
That is not
she
true.
also, in her
DeSantis
comment,
lies.
Hold on one second, Governor.
That is not true.
We'll give you your turn in a second.
She
Governor
did.
DeSantis.
It's noted. So the disrespect comment.
You see how she can't handle it? She cannot handle it. She can't control herself. She literally has no control over herself. She cannot handle it. She gets triggered at the drop of a dime.
That is not
she
true.
also in her
DeSantis
comment
lies.
Hold on one second, Governor.
That is not true.
We'll give you your turn in a second,
She
Governor
did.
DeSantis.
It's noted. So
And they're babying her. Oh, just hold on, Governor. We'll give you your chance in a second. There's got to be some rules enforced. Like when you're in a debate like this, how often are you allowed to just cut your opponent off, or how often are you able to just cut in when they're saying something? Like, how does that work?
refugees, and she got criticized for that.
That is not
she
true.
also in her
DeSantis
comment.
lies.
Hold on one second, Governor.
That is not true.
We'll give you your turn in a second,
She
Governor
did.
DeSantis.
It's noted. So
Unbelievable.
the disrespect comment. She's talking about that they're all families. If you look right now at the border, these are military-age males, many of them, and they're coming from all across this world, not just from Central America. In fact, you've got them from China, Iran.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, John. Facts. And this is the person they want with the nuke controls.
Russia, the Middle East. When I was down there a couple of years ago, because I've sent people down there, you had people from Libya and Haiti. This is a ticking time bomb for this country. There are, of course, going to be terrorist cells that have come in. It's like the lowest cost way to be able to harm this country. Just send people across the southern border. Nikki Haley also opposed the border wall in 2016. She said that she ridiculed it when Donald Trump was poured in.
I was talking to TD about this. And I want you guys to follow my logic here, okay? Let's just say, for instance, you have a criminal record and you have bad credit. How do you fix that? Say, for instance, you put yourself in this situation. You have a criminal record, hypothetically, and you have bad credit. How do you fix it? Quickly. How do you quickly fix that situation? Yeah, she don't shut up. Modern Nikki, man. She won't shut up. She probably drive her husband crazy. Her husband probably mad that or probably happy, you know what I'm saying, when she goes spend time with her side dudes. And I gotta agree, Jerry, when she does that, they need to cut her mic off. Yeah, facts. But again, what you see is this modern woman and her behaviors being coddled. Imagine if Ron DeSantis had done that to her. They'd have cut his mic off. You see how they was getting on Viva Ramaswamy was cutting everybody off. They was getting on his case. But Nikki can do nothing wrong. Black Star Racer, shout out to Black Star Racer. Black Star Racer says, become a new person is how you fix it. Facts. Now, you can become a new person in multiple different ways. My question for you guys is, how would you become a different person? If you guys want to get a credit check, a credit repair, right? If you want to get your criminal records wiped, how much does it cost and how do you do it? You said, oh, shout out to Black Lightning, becoming part of the mafia. What about crossing the southern border illegally? Would you be able to do that? Would that work for that situation? If you crossed into the United States, would you be able to do all those things that I just listed? Now, that's something that people should think about. People should really just think about that every time we talk about the border. And then ask yourself, is that the motivation possibly for some of those people that are coming over? So now I'm going to ask you guys that question. Do you all think that a life reset, not so much the stuff that they try to put out there, but a life reset is a big part of why a lot of the people illegally cross the southern border, because they know if they come undocumented, they can come and actually literally completely recreate themselves, literally recreate their image. Nobody will know who the hell that they are, and they can start completely over without having to get a credit check, without getting license numbers and all of this stuff. They just will completely start completely over from scratch as a new undocumented person in a life reset, and they can build from there. Exactly. Same thing that criminals do here. When you break out of jail, what's the first thing that you do? You go the exact same place that the people who are coming into this country go, except for you're going from the north to the southern border, and they're coming from the south going north to the southern border. But in both cases, you're going to the southern border. Now, my question is, why is it that nobody's talking about that, or nobody's asking that question? We've talked about that and gone over that briefly. Right? Something to think about, guys. Really think about that. Really start asking that question. Really put that question out there and expect the answer. When you ask people about that, expect an answer. Do not let them get away without giving you an answer. What is your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on this? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 29 people watching and we got 35 likes. If everyone can take a moment and smash that like button and get us to 50, that would be great.
I'm telling you, you need a wall. You can't trust politicians to do this. If the wall's there, it's a physical fact of life, and it's a huge step to restoring this country's
Thank you, Governor
sovereignty.
DeSantis. Governor Haley?
Go to DeSantisLies.com. I said you can't just build a wall. You have to do more than build a wall. It was having the wall and everything else. You can't trust what Ron's saying. But this is a bigger issue. This is more than him just constantly being desperate and throwing things on me. This is the fact that we have to realize my parents came here illegally. They came the right way 50 years ago. They put in the time, they put in the price. They are offended by what's happening on the border. And my mom would always say, if they don't follow the laws to come into this country, they won't follow the laws when they are in this country.
Your mom also said, stay away from black people. While we're talking about your mom, let's talk about everything that your mom said.
And we have to start treating this like it is. This is putting harm on our schools, on our hospitals. Taxpayers are paying for it. You see these mayors are now upset about it. The only reason Eric Adams is now upset, why? He shouldn't be a sanctuary city then. That's why we have to defund sanctuary cities. Now Governor Abbott finally did to them what's been happening to Texas for so long. We've got to put an end to this. It's dangerous, and it doesn't even count the fentanyl that's
Governor
coming across.
DeSantis. There are more than 10 million undocumented immigrants already living in the United States, according to Pew Research. Will any of them be allowed to stay in the United States under your administration?
The number of people that will be amnestied when I'm president is 0. We cannot do an amnesty in this country. First of all, it's going to do is cause more people to want to come illegally. So you got to enforce the law. It's got to be consistent. People got to know it's there. You also have to remove benefits for people who are here illegally. You know, California, you can go illegal alien and you get free health insurance coverage.
And we've talked about Medi-Cal. How many people remember us talking about Medi-Cal? Now, let me ask you guys this question. If there's a threat of a person not having health care when they go to a certain destination, is that going to deter them from coming, or is that going to make them want to come? Now, on the flip side of that, let's just say somebody says there's health care waiting for you when you get here. Is that going to deter people from coming, or is that going to encourage people to come? Let me know what you guys think.
You're here illegally and they're doing that. We should not let states provide these benefits. You know, in Florida, obviously, we don't do that. We don't allow the driver's license and all that, but some states do, and it creates a magnet for people coming in. So federally, no benefits, no enticements to come in, and then the states, we're going to crack down on sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. And I showed the hypocrisy of all this back in 2022, because we have a program to transport illegal aliens to sanctuary jurisdictions. And one of the places we sent 50 to, beautiful, liberal Martha's Vineyard. And you know what? These are folks that were on their high horse saying how they were a sanctuary jurisdiction, saying nobody's illegal, all refugees are welcome. That's what they had in their town. The minute even 50 came up, they called a state of emergency and deported them off the island the next day. How do you think Texas feels? How do you think all these other communities feel that are being overwhelmed? So we cannot have liberal elites in this country imposing policies on the rest of us that they are not willing to deal with the consequences of themselves.
Governor Haley, when you're president, will any of the more than 10 million undocumented immigrants in the U.S. be allowed to stay in the country under your administration?
You have to deport them. And the reason you have to deport them is they're cutting the line. You've got people who have done this and
So now you have to deport them. But remember, at first, how do you deport them? How does somebody that doesn't want to call them criminals deport them? Nikki Haley said that these people aren't criminals. So if they're not criminals, by her own saying, how do you deport them, Nikki?
try to go through the right way. You can't have them go and jump the line and suddenly do that. And that is actually what will get them to stop coming, is when they do realize they get to the wall and they have to turn around and go back.
Shout out to Kareem.
It's a dangerous process of what happens for them to try and migrate here. But when I was at the United Nations and we had this, which is another reason why we need to have Trump here defending himself and talking about what he would do going in the future, because it's a problem. I was on the ground in Honduras and Guatemala. And what we saw is a lot of the reason why they were coming from there is because of gangs and drugs. And so what we did was we had our military.
Gangs and drugs. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys think that it's gangs and drugs who are causing issues here in the United States? I think that once this is over, what I'm going to do is what I think that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a short undocumented bros. But this is going to be a very interesting undocumented bros. It's going to be real short, though. Because I want to show you guys something. How many people want a short undocumented bros? If you guys want a short undocumented bros, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. Just some interesting stuff that I saw that I think you guys might be interested in.
Go and train them on how to deal with gangs. We went and put drug boats on the water to keep the drugs from coming. But we said, you have to have them processed from here. You can't have them come. We were able to stop that flow. We've got to go back to do that. But we need to end it once and for all. Donald Trump didn't do that. That's why he needs to be here debating on the stage.
Yeah. Well, Nikki, your time is limited. I believe. That's what I believe. That is what I believe. Now, there was more information that I wanted to talk about, but we already are 2 hours deep. Let me see. I'm going to show you guys these things real quick here. All right, yeah, so check this out. So this is what Nikki Haley got a W. All right, she didn't win the entire thing. But let me see. Hold on real quick. Let me see. Hold on. I think I told you guys this. Imagine this. There's a district called Dickville that really liked Nikki Haley. Yeah, 2 hours. I know, right? Went hella fast. And me and Grind are doing reacts today, so I gotta try to hurry up. You know what I'm saying? Your boy gotta try to hurry up. So let me see what they got going on over here. Let's check this out.
Midnight, voters in the small town of Dixville Notch, New Hampshire, cast the first votes in the nation with all 6 of the...
See, y'all thought I was joking.
Midnight, voters in the The small town of Dixville Notch, New Hampshire, cast the first votes in the nation, with all 6 of the town's registered voters casting ballots for Nikki Haley.
The rest of the state will vote later this morning.
Did they say all 6 of the town's registered voters? They making a big deal out of this. This is how you know she got her ass beat. She done messed around and got her ass beat in this election. They making a big deal out of this, talking about Nikki Haley sweeps Dixville Notch primary to New Hampshire, and there's only 6 damn registered voters in the whole town. How did that make headlines? Oh man, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All 6 people voted for it. All 6 people in the town voted for it, man. This is stupid.
Midnight, voters in the small town of Dixville Notch, New Hampshire, cast the first vote.
That town ain't small. That town is microscopic. They only got 6 registered voters in that town. Bro, how does this make like headlines? I don't know what's more headline worthy news. The fact that this town only has 6 registered voters, or the fact that all 6 of them voted for Nikki Haley. And they got this, they're playing this all over the place. They're playing this all over the place. Like these 6 voters in this town are some indication of how Trump is going to get demolished. Like, this is wow. I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
Midnight, voters in the small town of Dixville Notch, New Hampshire, cast the first votes in the nation, with all 6 of the town's registered voters casting ballots for Nikki Haley.
The rest of the state will vote later this morning, and the former ambassador and governor says she is not giving up despite polls showing former President Trump with a significant lead.
Told you.
NBC's Bree Jackson is live now in Manchester, New Hampshire. Bree, good
Told you the polls show Trump got a significant lead. That's why they had to make this headline. Nikki Haley sweeps Dixville. She destroyed Trump by getting 6 votes. Like, seriously? Have you ever seen any politician get coddled like this before? Yeah, I gotta agree. If you guys agree with DeAndre, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. DeAndre says they trying real hard to make Nikki look like she's doing something. Facts. Super facts.
morning to you.
Good morning, Dave, Maureen. So we expect to see more votes rolling in throughout this day. We do know that whopping 6 votes that came out of Dixville Notch earlier today. But bottom line is, some voters here in New Hampshire, they tell me they're not happy about their choices. They do not want to see a Biden-Trump rematch. They want an alternative. And that's where campaigns like Nikki Haley and Dean Phillips are hoping to gain support here. Republican candidates delivering their closing message to New Hampshire voters. Former President Trump wants to seal the deal for the GOP nomination.
We're coming to take over the beautiful, beautiful White House, and we're going to run the country the way it's supposed to be run.
Trump's former UN ambassador and Republican rival Nikki Haley seeks to finish stronger here than her third-place finish in the Iowa caucuses.
This really is an option. Do you want more of the same? Or do you want to go forward?
That's the sentiment echoed on the Democratic side.
They don't want Donald Trump.
Dean
The whopping 6 voters, man. That's wild, man. That's wild that that's even a thing, bro. That's wild that that's even a thing.
Phillips is challenging President Biden. Phillips is considered a long shot, but he tells me he hopes to build momentum in the Granite State, where Joe Biden's name is absent from the ballot.
He needs competition because if we coronate him, it's lights out. Donald Trump is coming back to the White House. That's just the truth.
Biden could still win New Hampshire through a grassroots right-in Biden campaign.
He's done a stand-up job with the economy, and I don't see why we would pick anybody else to continue that work.
What?
Job with the economy and
Look at this.
Biden campaign.
He's done a stand-up job with the economy, and I don't see why we would pick anybody else to continue that work.
You guys agree with her? She clearly, she's a Joe Biden supporter, so shout out to her.
Here at Stark Brewing Company in Manchester, craft beer is flowing, and so are conversations about the presidential race. Some say they are not enthused about their choices.
This is a tough election. This is a really tough election. Nobody wants to vote for people. They're all voting against people.
A sense of frustration as the First in the Nation primary gives the country a sense of where voters stand in the 2024 presidential election. And after former President Trump's...
Look at this. Hold on real quick. It's only 6 registered voters in the entire town, man. I bet you Nikki Haley gonna walk around with this card like a badge of honor. I had a shutout. It was a shutout. I shut them out. Trump didn't get no votes, and Phillips didn't get no votes. Look at that. They don't even have nobody else running on the Democrat side. Like, the Democrat side is really hit. They ain't even got nothing going on over there. They just chilling. Like, the fuck.
And after former President Trump's blowout win in the Iowa caucuses, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley is really hoping to draw in independent voters here in New Hampshire, a state that could be make or break for her campaign. Maureen?
Right, and again, those 6 voters voting for Nikki Haley overnight, that'll set up a very interesting primary for today. We'll see how all the numbers shake out.
6 voters, man. They made a big deal out of that. They made a big deal out of 6 voters, guys. I don't know, man. I had more stuff to talk about because there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about Nikki Haley about. Maybe we'll get time before, you know what I'm saying? I am unavailable for the rest of the day to stream. Maybe we won't. I don't think that there's too much more to say. I don't think that there'll be too much more to talk about as far as Nikki Haley goes, because the countdown to oblivion has already begun. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody who is here. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Thank you for watching. Let's try to get to 500 subs. Shout out to everyone who is here. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you got the notifications hit. I'm going to try to bust out this undocumented bro stream. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,